Welcome back to Extra Holiday Games. I'm Extra Holiday. Last time we were talking about health. And you know what has health in it? Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna switch off the serious topic we were talking about last time, and we're gonna talk about something fun because I don't like to dwell on the not fun things. So, D&D. It hasn't been happening lately, and you know, if you follow my streams or if you look back at the streams, you would know that, because in the current campaign we do stream every time we play, but you know, every time we play isn't quite as often as we'd like it. Yeah, I will say, I think potentially, because I know this group is going to want to play another campaign. They've pretty much made it clear that that's the case. So, I think potentially what we're going to do for the next campaign is we're not going to try to do it as often. Because here's the thing. Effectively what we were trying to do, I think even at the beginning we were trying to do it every week. But since then, we've been trying to do it every other week, and that hasn't been working either. So, what I want to do is something that we are already planning on doing for the other group, is to probably just play once a month, and it'll be on a specific day on each month. Like for example, like the, third Saturday of each month. And that will be the day, right? So that, that day, so that when we start the campaign, everyone will have all of the days that we're supposed to play fixed on their calendar. So that aside from any unforeseen circumstances, they shouldn't have anything on their schedule for that time, right? We sort it out from the beginning, say, hey, these specific days, these 12 days, because it'll probably be once a month for 12 months. That's probably how that's how I've been thinking of doing it. Again, I have to run it by the guys first, but, once a month for 12 months. And after that, not after that, but so for that time period, they know exactly what days we're going to be playing for the entire campaign, or theoretically should be playing. And you know what? If we have to move a day, we can move it to the next week, right? We've got a whole month buffer in that case where we can play instead and not have to push back the other session. We have time to do a makeup session, as it were. And so yeah, I haven't talked to the guys about that yet. And in fact, technically, I haven't even talked to them about doing a second campaign yet, aside from saying that, yeah, we can probably do that. But yeah, and then that's kind of what we're planning on doing for the other group, who will probably not be streaming, by the way. I should mention, this other campaign that's happening will probably not be streamed. I will offer to the players the opportunity to have it streamed, but I don't think it's likely. Given who all is playing, I don't think it's likely. Or who all is likely to be playing. Because, again, we don't have the group set in stone just yet, but... So, ultimately, I'll be DMing 2 days a month. Going forward. That's most likely. That's the current plan in my head. Which should be fine. That gives me roughly 2 weeks to prepare for each session, which is what I'm doing now. And theoretically, I don't feel like I've been doing the best job of being fully prepared for every session. I feel like I've done a sufficient job. So, also, I died on Roy. I was talking about that in another episode. How I hadn't done that in a while. It's cool. Yeah, I should be able to sufficiently prepare for each session with 2 weeks of time between sessions. And I'll be alternating campaigns, so that might make it a little bit more manageable. You know, might keep the motivation going. And another nice thing, don't tell the players. But because it is no longer the first campaign that I'm doing in this world, I could maybe reuse stuff that didn't get used in the first campaign. No, maybe. That is the neat thing about, you know, not revealing everything to the players is that, yeah, if you didn't end up using something that you made, you can maybe just put it somewhere else in a later campaign. I don't know why I was just bouncing on that ring. I should have been going around it, but it's fine. Yeah, and that's kind of the goal. That's kind of the goal with Auralia as a world is eventually I'll have run enough campaigns in the world to have built it up as a world. And to have... Basically, the idea is that it'll get easier because I'll have more that I can reuse later on. This first campaign is probably the hardest in terms of world building and quest building and character building. Because I was basically starting from scratch, right? And technically not, because Auralia is based on the other version of Auralia that I did while I was playing or DMing for Pathfinder, right? The first campaign that I ever DM'd. It took place in Auralia, so like the general geography of the area is the same, and some of the names of the towns even are the same. But I didn't take much other than that. Yeah, okay, so there's 1 or 2 characters that are also the same. But again, not much more than that. Ultimately, the lore is entirely different. Because I really didn't do much lore stuff when it came to the first version of Auralia. I was basically just relying on pre-established lore from the Pathfinder books. Even then, I wasn't really delving into it too much. Basically, I was like, okay, what gods are there? Okay, I guess those are forces that exist, but I never really had them appear or anything, or implemented them into the story or anything. Yeah, they just kind of existed for the sake of clerics and paladins to have, you know, a name to shout in battle. But this new version of Auralia is different. It is. You've got there's a little more to it. And we haven't even really dug into the lore that much in Box of Beginnings. But we're getting there, actually. I think I've given little hints about the lore, but and they're hints that are directly related. Specifically, the one I'm thinking of is directly related to the larger plot that's going on. Not only in Box of Beginnings, but basically for this whole prologue in Auralia. Because yeah, there's a larger story going on. Damn it. I should have short hopped. It's fine. Yeah, there's more to the story than just this one campaign, is what I'm saying. And hopefully, I hope that I have instilled that feeling in my players. And I think I have. I think those little hints that I gave are cluing them into the fact that, like, there's more to learn about this world. And of course, also, because I couldn't help myself and I used to work with a lot of these guys, I have let slip some, just away from the table, some lore stuff, but not much. Mostly just stuff that anyone in Auralia would know. You know, stuff like about the god of the world and the age of the world and some common history. Again, there's not a lot of history to Auralia because it's a world that's only 1,000 years old. So, you know, how much can really happen in 1,000 years, am I right? I mean, in a fantasy world, sure. But there is some. There is some that has happened. And that sort of stuff has shaped the world a bit. I do like it. I do like the world building I'm doing. It's just I kind of wish I had more time to do it, and I wish we were playing more often so that I had more motivation to do it. Because one thing that really kills my motivation is what's been happening a lot, which is just delays. Because the biggest thing that motivates me to work on D&D is actually playing it. And because we don't play nearly as often as we mean to, I get a bit demoralized sometimes, just as a DM. It's like, well, I could work on D&D, but what are the chances that we're actually playing this week? You know? Because part of the thing is, right, like, it should be fairly obvious at this point that I am a person that likes to create things for other people to enjoy. So, when, okay, I thought I was going to be able to bounce off it again. When I get the feeling that I'm creating something that nobody is even experiencing, let alone enjoying, then it's rather demotivating for me, right? It kind of kills the reason that I do this sort of stuff. And to an extent, that applies to this channel too, right? The fact that only so many people are watching it, you know, I only get, on these new videos especially, that I only get like a view every other video at this point. When it comes to the first like 24 hours of the video, I should say. Which granted is more than I was getting, and I am grateful for that. I'm grateful that I am getting slightly more views than I have been. But when it feels like, it's very easy for it to feel like to me that nobody's watching. And I've mentioned before how that can be a good thing, because, you know, it lays off a lot of the pressure. You know, if nobody's watching, then you don't really have to worry about being judged, right? But also, if nobody's watching, then, you know, what am I really providing to the world? You know, what am I really doing this for, even if nobody's watching it? But it's fine. One of the things that really motivates me, that, you know, counters that demotivation, I should say, is that, sure, maybe nobody's watching now, but especially in the case of this channel, people can always go back and watch it, right? That's the beauty of a thing like YouTube, is you put it up on there and it doesn't go away unless you take it down. And even then, sometimes it doesn't. So, it's not that, you know, if you're watching this, you're probably watching this a long time after it initially came out. And at that point, I'm probably, if I had to guess, I'm probably a bit more secure in my viewership now. So, you know, this maybe comes off as a moot point for most of the people who will watch this. What is the point I was getting at? I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is that what? I don't know. I hope you all enjoy watching, and if you want to watch more, please do, because it motivates me to keep going, right? You know, if you enjoy watching this, I'm not going to say the thing that everyone else says and has been saying for like the past 10 years. If you enjoy watching my content, please feel free to watch more. Because that ultimately is what motivates me. Knowing that people are watching my content is what motivates me. To make stuff for this channel, to make stuff for other channels, and to a similar extent to make stuff in D&D is, you know, having my players experience the content that I'm making. So yeah, I don't say it often, but yes, I do want you to watch more of my stuff, especially if you are enjoying it. Because no, I already said it. It's a motivator for me. Right? That's one of my favorite parts in making the Friday show, which is the show that I made in, you know, middle school, high school, in my media communications class. One of my favorite parts of the Friday show, even more so than actually making the videos, was when they aired at lunch in the lunchroom. And especially, I mean, even just having people watch it was nice, but especially when I could get a laugh out of people, that was great. I loved that. And I'm looking for that same thing here. Right? I'm looking to, you know, provide something for you. And hopefully get a little compensation for it as well. But at the moment, I haven't quite scratched that itch, you know? That itch isn't being scratched. Go. I died. I like that. I don't actually. You know what? Maybe I'll be able to scratch my itch next time. Because, as for this episode, that's a wrap. Click on the videos on the screen.